Hey, what's up guys? Welcome back to another video, and today in the Advanced Minecraft Functions series we're going to be covering toggles, what they are, why you care, some different ways of thinking about toggles, and some examples. So yes, you can use this to create all sorts of different contraptions and systems. When I click the fish hook, it will turn off or on. Basically, imagine you want to build a system that does something simple, like runs a fill command in front of you, right? You don't want that constantly firing, right? So then there's one way of doing it, which is you can have an on and off entity that links to on and off commands. When one turns it on and one turns it off. The other way that's better is a click, a toggle, like T flip-flop style. If you don't know what T flip-flop is, you don't need to know. I'll tell you anyways. T flip-flop is a redstone contraption or circuit, real-life circuit, where when you power it, it goes from on to off or from off to on. So as you can see right now, it's saying off over and over. This, don't mind my debugging, yo. And if I go here and throw this, it will now say on over and over. How did I do this? Why should you care? I want to capture why you should care a little bit more instead of just running through this video. You can do a lot of things with this system, and it doesn't have to be a fishing pole. This could be a named torch. You throw it on the ground, it turns itself off and on. Oh yeah, there's actually a torch kill contraption in my commands that are running right now. That's funny, I didn't even think about that. You could have a fill command running in front of you. This can save you tons of time when terraforming. You could have a clone command in front of you. You could have a system that kills all players on grass, right? And you're going here, you're running from people, and then you click it, boom, it goes to a different mode, and now these different blocks that you were on previously are killing you. You could even have this alternate between 5 or 6 different modes if you wanted. You could combine these systems and then have a fishing pole that says this current mode is on, and then have spawn eggs that change what mode that you have selected. So you could have like fill mode where it fills the blocks underneath you. Then you could have replace mode where it replaces the blocks around you with a certain block. You could have randomization mode, which I'm gonna make a video about that soon if I haven't uploaded it already. You could have all sorts of different things. The idea though is that this contraption, the component that we're going to learn, is how to turn something from off to on and have it continually fire once it is on. So this all happens in a framework function. When you're doing functions, I recommend doing this format. It's what I've come up with. It is helpful. A framework is a function that is always running. In my other command blocks, I have systems where they run off of entities, and in their animation controller they automatically fire off commands. So when you run the command once, it will then create an entity that is then always running the commands. My world edit system, let's look at that real quick, has, come on, there it is. So this is ironically not a framework function. This is the framework function which then runs this one. This is an often common thing you will see. The framework function will lead into many other functions, constantly checking on your world. When you get into advanced functions, you're going to be doing this a lot. You can look at this if you would like. If you want me to explain this, I'll just explain it in another video. I won't even say leave a like or anything. I'll just cover it. And then this is how my world edit system works. These are the different modes you can switch using buttons that I came up with. Lots of functions, lots of commands. All in all, there are, if I go to, yeah, I won't get too distracted here, but as you can see, lots of commands. You can do lots of things. Let's look at how this works. So this is an example of an input, okay? You could have different inputs. I kind of covered this already, but this is one way of changing the toggleable switch to off and on. You could have different things like a named spawn egg. You could have a button that you push that changes something in the world. You could have, obviously, any kind of redstone connected. You could have, if someone has a certain scoreboard value, turn this thing to on. Or turn it, switch it. So, I'm not sure how you would do that. Maybe you have a mini game with a bunch of people trying to get scores, and every time someone reaches the end, it changes something. I don't know. That would be a little different from flip-flop. But yeah, let's look at the code. It's quite simple. Let's get rid of these. Boom, boom. Okay, so this is the framework function. This is correct. So this code is what we're going to look at right here. Okay. So this, first off, tests, you're going to want kind of an identifier. Hey, don't execute on everyone, only execute on people with this tag. You don't need to do that. You could execute on all players. From what I have gathered, functions use old style execute commands. If you don't know those, find another video. I will maybe make one. I do not know. Then I execute on fishhook radius 3 from all players that have the tag of on, and then I execute if they have a score of. Now here's what you want to do. You want to have a scoreboard. I name it something simple like on. In this case, I'm trying to make a sphere generator for terraforming, which is what you see down here, the beginnings of it. So I made it specific, but normally make it something simple like on. I used on1 and on2 a lot in commands. This is 0, and then what you will do is you will tag it on, and then you will do a second one that says if it's 1, remove that tag. Okay, that's important. Then don't mind the debugging that says fish. Then you will simply, and don't mind this is all debugging stuff. I can get rid of that. I should have before this video, but here we are. And then what you do is you say, okay, based on their tag that they now have, reset the scoreboard values. I mean, set their scoreboard values accordingly. So if they have a tag of on, set it to 1. If they have a tag of, if they don't have a tag, then set it to 0. That's the on-off state. This is helpful because if you just use scoreboard commands, what will happen is you will go like, apparently I had caps lock on. You'll do like you'll say if sc1 set 2, or let's say set 0, then you'll say if sc0 set 1. SC stands for scoreboard. The problem is if you do this, you will set your scoreboard to 0, and then it will immediately say, oh hey, it's 0, now set it to 1. So it will always be set to 1 if you do this. So this way you use tags and scoreboards. You could probably, I'm thinking of this fresh on the spot. Could you use 2 different scoreboards to accomplish this goal? I think you could. Yeah, you could. You could also use 2 different scoreboards, which would, how would that work? Let's see. If sc1 set sc2 to 0, if sc2 0 set 1 sc1, then if sc2 equals 0, set sc scoreboard to 1. Let me make sure this works. I don't want to give you guys crud information. If it's 1, set it to 0. So we would set that to 0. And then we would say if sc2 equals 1, set this to 1. And then we rerun it, and now it is set to 1. And now it's going to set to 0. Well, that's going to set that to 0, which is then going to set that back to 0. Yeah, so this would also work. You could use 2 different scoreboard objectives to accomplish this. I used a tag system. It works either way. I like to have not that many scoreboard objectives if possible. So let's use this. Let's use this. How do we use this? So if they have that tag, or in this case you would say if they have a scoreboard value of on value 1, because it's on, 0's off, 1 is on, then execute this command. Remember, this command in this function will be running constantly in your world. This is the check. This is the controller of your functions. Yes, so now let's go to sphere, and let's just do a simple execute at s tilde tilde tilde. Sorry, let's do that 30 fill tilde 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 tilde. I hope this works first try. Wouldn't that be nice? 15's a little big. Let's do 11. 11. 11. Nope. We're gonna go smaller just so I can have shape. If this is too fat, I'm not gonna be able to have. What did I just do? There's 3 of those. Does that mean I have 4 tildes? It does. Okay. That was confusing. Forgot what I was saying. Cool. Oh yeah, I need it to be a small enough shape so that I can work with shape and give variance instead of just big blocks of stuff. So this should work. So now I load into my world. We go here. /reload will reset all the functions in your world. Oh yeah, this. I don't know if that's gonna work yet. Oh, look at that, syntax errors. Because okay, now let's. Oh, look, it's working. Look at that. So this is going. Currently, I set this to 10 every 10 ticks. Now let's set it to faster, and as you can see, this is building smoothly. And if I go here, it's off. Pretty cool. This is a simple thing you can build. This is something I don't see most people have. You can build such advanced world edit systems. You can do crazy stuff with just basic if else statement logic combined with command structure, you know, to control the flow of what happens and when. I click it here, it's on. That took me like 2 seconds in a file to do this. Imagine this, but then you can like add different sizes. So if they have a score of 5, I'm out of range. If they have a score of 5, make it 5 by 5. If they have a score of 6, well, 7 by 7, because you don't want to do it. That'd be weird if it went from 5 by 5 to 6 by 6. Yeah, that'd be weird. But you can add all sorts of things. This could be a clone command. You could have clone certain areas using a different command system. So you could have like, okay, paste this hand-built sphere that I made, right? Place this hand-built sphere that I made 20 times a second, and then you can swap out that sphere using other commands, and you can have a changing brush that you could create. You can also do this all with normal commands. This would just be one really long chain command block that would go over. You just put every line of code that's in there into a command block. Cool, so hopefully that makes sense. Let me know what you think. I might remake this video, might not, probably will. Yeah, so hopefully that makes sense. This is a toggleable on-off command system. Something I did forget to mention in this video is that you can actually make this system completely with tags. It seems obvious now and it is fairly obvious, but you can just use 2 sets of different tags and then test if they do or do not have that tag, and then update the secondary tag. And yes, anyways, hope you enjoyed.